格鲁吉亚国土面积6.97万平方公里，位于外高加索中西部，地处欧亚大陆的战略要地。依山傍海的格鲁吉亚因其景色宜人，被称作上帝的后花园。作为古代丝绸之路的起点和终点，中国与格鲁吉亚之间的友谊有着悠久的历史。在格鲁吉亚语中，中国派生出的词汇大多都有着美好的含义。在“一带一路”倡议的引导下，中格两国之间发生了怎样的变化？美丽的丝路又将绽放出怎样的华彩？本期节目，我们就要走进格鲁吉亚，通过格鲁吉亚驻华大使大卫·阿普恰乌利的讲述，去了解中格两国跨越数千年的深厚友谊，感受“一带一路”倡议下双边各领域的跨越式发展。1992年6月9日，格鲁吉亚与中国正式建交，双方外交关系的发展保持着稳步向好的趋势。格鲁吉亚地处欧亚大陆的十字路口，是古丝绸之路和现代欧亚走廊必经之地。各方对“一带一路”倡议给予了高度重视，并积极地推动相关发展。随着中格两国各界交往的不断增强，务实合作的成果越发显著。在2015年3月，格鲁吉亚总理乔治·科维里卡什维利到访中国期间，与中方签署了丝绸之路经济带合作的备忘录。自此，两国关系正式迈上了一个新的台阶。
Georgia is located at the crossroads between Western and Eastern cultures, Western and Eastern communities. So it's kind of a gate, hub country.So naturally that with this link function, Georgia has always been in the middle of cooperation, is the middle of exchanges, goods, people, ideas, and generations of people. Yeah. So it's natural that since it's been one of the shortest probably routes to Europe and distant areas from Asia and from China. China has always been one of the standpoints of these connections. So that's why it has been an important part of heritage and important part of communication. If we add the other element that Georgia is an ancient country with an ancient history and very rich cultural heritage, we can also make the other conclusion that there is a lot of commonality in that sense. So in this respect, we can say that the heritage as it is, it's a part of Georgian life, it's a part of Georgian history. So that's why, of course, we were in the middle of this interconnection, as I mentioned, of nations, countries, and cultures. Yes. I have to say that, frankly speaking, I'm not in favor of the term influential when we speak of China. I think we can adjust the more appropriate, in that sense, word or meaning that China has always been very interesting, at least because of its historical roots and a lot of discoveries. So that's why we should speak about, I think, not influence, but about the attraction, interest, and interconnection. So in that sense, China has always been important from that standpoint for Georgia, and still is important. We passed a lot of stages. If we go back to the history, there were a lot of different pages and different stories, but always common between the countries was its interest to each other, its respect to each other, and need to exchange the cultural heritage through exchanges, through trade, through transactions, and we cannot sum up in a few words, I mean, all that stories, but we have to say that traditionally the relations between China and Georgia, Georgia and China, have always been very friendly, filled by positive emotions. So we have to say that when there is an understanding and when there is an interest and when there is something common, at least in terms of, again I'm repeating that, history, culture, traditions, so it is always a very good platform for partnership. So we enjoy these relations, and we are very happy that despite the fact that two different by size and resources countries, they experienced various periods of the history of their development, but what was retained and what we keep still is understanding that two countries belongs to ancient history and culture, are unique in that sense, and there is a number of arguments to prove that, and that has always been in the minds of people and even of the policymakers.
格鲁吉亚一直将打造建设连接欧亚的运输物流中心枢纽作为重要的目标，大力改善国内公路、铁路、港口等基础设施，并积极与丝绸之路沿线各国在经贸、科技、城市建设、海关法规协调、国际物流通道建设等领域加强合作。2015年底，格鲁吉亚开通了从中国至土耳其的国际货运列车。这条线路途经哈萨克斯坦、里海、阿塞拜疆、格鲁吉亚，到达土耳其。而格鲁吉亚作为一个重要的货物中转站，在其中起到了至关重要的作用。中国的陆路货物到达格鲁吉亚的运输时间是9到14天，而海运则需要40至45天。由此可见，格鲁吉亚的发展潜力十分巨大。
In 2013, leader of China, President Xi Jinping, he raised this initiative first. And we have passed several years. And now we have to say that this initiative is going in full strength and is widely recognized by international community. I think it's a record that so many countries decided to join it. This initiative, this project, One Road, One Belt project, and I think this number will be increased in the nearest run. What stands behind that? In our view, the world desperately needs a fresh look to multilateral partnership. We need new models of international economic relations. Since now we enter a new stage in global development, when sometimes risks prevail rather than benefits. Opportunities not open so widely or not implemented widely. So I think this is a response. This Chinese initiative is a response to those who are seeking these new ways. And it seems to me that that will be a rather interesting model of global interaction when the countries with rich resources can propose the full-fledged partnership in order to develop infrastructure, to develop trade, to activate investments, exchanges between the people, and finally to improve the standard of living of the desperately needed countries. So in that sense, I think this is a good attempt to reach this goal. And what is, I think, also very interesting that The architects of this initiative, I mentioned first of all President Xi Jinping, they consider that this is an open door policy, that any country is free to make a decision to cooperate or not, and there will not be some institutional mechanism of institutional upper levels of management of this process. So I think we should follow, this project, in particular for those countries that are still in transition in their development, including my country. So I think it's an interesting model of global partnership. What is also important, and I would like to add that I think it's a mistake when we can consider it only as a attempt for only economic cooperation. It is not a matter of only economic stimulation. The cultural dimensions, the cultural output is not less important. Since sometimes we're seeking more benefits, we're seeking some economic progress, but sometimes we forget that it's going to be done by people who should know each other better, who should have their awareness of each other, respect to traditions of each other, in particular in the world of globalization, when everything has become so universal and so identical that it's very difficult to find out the identity of each other sometimes. So in that sense, I think that's an advantage of this project, unlike the others that have evident economic advantages. We consider that all segments of partnership with China, bilateral agenda of partnership, or joint participation in institutions like newly established Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and some others, so bilateral or in multilateral involvement, both are a part of our participation in One Belt, One Road project. And it's been mentioned a number of times by the leaders of China and Georgia that Georgia is an important participant of this project because of its location, because of its traditionally important place as an interaction of Western and Asian cultures, and because its achievements, since we are probably one of the leaders in the region, at least in terms of economic progress there, and business environment. So, and also our close integration with European community. I think you're aware that we're associate members of the European Union, and there are some other benefits. So we might be a very good bridge country for China and Asian community in order to make closer interaction of the two large communities. Yeah, so that's why this is a set of I think positive elements that makes Georgia interesting as a partner within this project. But speaking on the substance, I have to say that one of the reflections that our partnership is an important one is the signing of the free trade agreement between Georgia and China that happened last year, and we activated it from the January of this year. We cooperate in the field of a number of substantial infrastructural projects. We mean the transportation sites, the roads, the railway connection opportunity, and communication and other fields that create a network of the infrastructural commonality in order to bring more ships, more capital, more labor force from distant areas, Chinese market to Europe through Georgia and in Georgia. I stress in Georgia since as an associate member of the European Union, we are privileged to have tax holidays if we create a joint venture with foreign partners, including China, and if we will have the manufactured goods produced by Georgian enterprises. That means that we can sell out them on the European market without taxes, or with a very low level of taxes. So that means that also in Georgia it might be, I think, more interesting to have business activity for foreigners. So it enhances its role. As I mentioned, it's a bridge country role. So this is a new opportunity, and I think that it will attract the attention of many countries, including China.
作为格鲁吉亚的首都，第比利斯位于库拉河畔，三面环山，坐落于古老的丝绸之路，使它成为一个多元文化的中心。反映在如今就是民族的多样性。伴随着经济合作的不断深入，中格两国的文化交流、旅游发展一直保持着稳定增长的势头。但语言交流的困难一直制约着双方文化旅游方面的发展。而这一问题，由于“一带一路”倡议的落实，正在逐渐得到解决。2015年10月，格鲁吉亚和中国共同举办了2015第比利斯丝绸之路国际论坛，34个国家的代表出席。这一次合作为双边乃至多边文化的相互认可与深度交流夯实了基础。
I'm just continuing this topic I've tried to start a few minutes ago, that we sometimes underestimate the importance of cultural understanding. Since in the world of globalization, we have benefits and disadvantages. To enhance or to lose our cultural identity and language identity. So when we live in the internet era, and when we can freely use the same hotels, the same food, the same books, the same opportunities to move and to travel, so it makes us much easier in terms of accessibility to each other. But when we speak about the knowledge of culture, history and traditions, sometimes we forget that this is a standpoint, very important standpoint, to be more respectful to each other. And when we speak about the respect, when we speak about the traditions, it's not a kind of academic phenomenon only. It's concrete topics that desperately needed even in pragmatic life, in particular for business executives, and in particular for business executives that start new businesses. And I often mention that even in the framework of this global interesting project, this One Road, One Belt project, we can be successful in terms of attracting investments, but might be less optimistic when we desperately need that people who can understand each other due to the gap in culture, in language, in traditions. That might be a burden, unexpected burden for success. So in this respect, I think that One Road, One Belt project has an interesting endeavor also to increase the exchanges. And the best tool is tourism. The best tool is more frequent exchanges. All the people who wants to study the culture, the language, the history of each other, to speak on common language. Not in terms of linguistic point of view, but in terms of understanding. Yeah. So that's why tourism and promotion of the country's traditions, history, and modern life, I think, is the most important task today. In particular in modern life, since if we sometimes speak about this commonality, the need to increase this commonality understanding, we forget also that now the new generations are developing very fastly, and sometimes they have no time for communication. They should take care of themselves, and there is no time for that, and there's a gap. So this gap might be very dangerous. Yeah. So that's why we're very happy that the tourism exchange between China and Georgia is slowly but steadily increasing, and two countries are interesting places to visit. And I hope that it might be very good channel of interaction in the nearest run. On top, we increase the communication, the flights, the cargo turnover, by the way, and many other moves. So that makes us closer to each other. So cultural dimension and economic motivation, or economic progress and cultural exchanges are extremely important. They complement to each other, and if we skip one or two elements, I think that will be a half story and half success. But half success is not a success, finally.
教育作为国家人才培养的重要途径，是世界的关注要点。中国与格鲁吉亚的合作中同样体现了这一点。随着中国和格鲁吉亚各领域合作的不断扩大，格鲁吉亚对汉语人才的需求也越来越大。早在2010年，第比利斯自由大学孔子学院就已正式揭牌。为进一步推动格鲁吉亚青少年学习汉语的积极性，2012年下半年，中国国家汉语推广办公室向格鲁吉亚派出汉语教学志愿者，并逐步在格鲁吉亚各大城市的中学里引进汉语教学，同时在中国的北京大学也开设了格鲁吉亚语的课程。
I'm very optimistic here. I'm optimistic since I think finally the mankind, all human beings, they will understand that conflicts and never-ending talks about conflicts, but finally will make a serious, let's say, obstacle finally for any kind of positive progress. And I'm not naive that it can be very easily resolved, but again, we need positive cases, positive examples to fill up that optimism. In that sense, why China is interesting, in our view, this is a stable country. It's not only a resource-rich country, but I think China is trying to combine two very important elements: to keep stability, to nurture the hard work, to study a lot, and to adopt what is interesting outside. So combining all these elements, they're trying to persuade this policy. It's a friendly policy and policy for development. At least we're witnessing for last years and working here in China this process. So and that's why it might be interesting, and it's interesting since if you just take the AIB, that you can easily find out there is a lot of different countries from different areas, from different regions with different opportunities, but they decided to join this investment bank, infrastructure investment bank, since they consider that it might be maybe in some cases more effective rather than that World Bank or IMF, that are also very important and they did their job, but still the issue is that we desperately need some freshness. We desperately need something new, since sometimes we cannot run the opportunities and even less run the risks that are rising too much, sometimes unexpectedly. And this kind of seeds of stability and long-term vision of the development That is, I think, a good lesson, of Chinese lesson to us. Might be helpful, I think, for future, just to be successful. Just making these remarks that when a human being has normal standard conditions, normal standard living, he might be more flexible in terms of not only his choice in his life, but in terms of his constructive contribution. So the conflicts, the wars, and many other headaches, it's a matter, there are a lot of reasons for that, but I think the main reason is that economic status, the standard living of human beings, of countries and communities. So that's why I think with the increase of welfare of people, job opportunities, you know that the unemployment is still, regrettably, is a serious headache for many countries. And less success for education, more opportunities to be involved in just small business activity. So there should be a set of very good environment for that. Some countries desperately needed the help. Some countries, they can help the others. So that's why there should be kind of equal partnership in that sense. And it seems to me that and some new initiatives, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago, that probably create some new opportunities. What is, I think, also very important to understand that regrettably there is less creativity, less construction activity, and more destruction, and regrettably more egoistic, say, approach to the welfare. So I'm speaking about not only individual sense or corporate sense, but also at the other levels. So that's why more consolidation, more understanding, and more interest to create something rather to destruct something should prevail. So that's why we need new approaches and new strategies in that sense. And through exchanges, through better understanding to each other, through international trade, that is a motor for any progress, by the way, through the high techs, through new technologies, through interest to be, we would say, in the middle of cultural heritage exchanges. I think we can be more tolerant, more respectful to each other, and finally more efficient in terms of output. Since what we create, it should be for the benefit of people and human beings in our countries. Since I've been working here more than 4 years as ambassador, to witness in the future the prosperous relations between my country and China, Georgia and China, to wish to Chinese people, all our friends of Georgia, successful stories in the future.
2017年11月28日，中国商务部副部长钱克明会见了格鲁吉亚第一副总理库姆西什维利，确认双方各自均已完成中华人民共和国政府和格鲁吉亚政府自由贸易协定。协定将为两国企业营造更加开放、便利和稳定的营商环境，为消费者提供更多质优价廉的产品和服务。可以预见，中格双方将以协定生效为契机，全面提升两国务实合作水平，进而扎实推进“一带一路”建设，实现共同繁荣，为实现全球经济一体化及构建人类命运共同体做出不可磨灭的贡献。面向未来，中国与格鲁吉亚必将携手共进，共同为构建和谐繁荣的新时代贡献力量。